It's heartbreaking to see, and now we've seen it with our own eyes. There have been thousands of Tennesseans praying for the Tennesseans here in Upper East Tennessee, and there has been a great deal of effort put in making sure that help is on the way and assistance gets here. There's a lot of work that has to be done. There's a lot of assessment that still remains. But that's what we're here for, is to start that process and to take a look at it ourselves. Senator Blackburn is here joining me. Congressman Harshbarger is here, Speaker Sexton, among others, our team from TEMA and TDOT. So let's give them each an opportunity to say a few words, and then we'll come back for some questions.
I just want to say a thank you to the governor and his team, and also to the National Guard, TDOT, TEMA. Everyone responded so quickly. And it was important that we get that disaster declaration done last night. We got it submitted in the late afternoon, early evening. The letter from the congressional delegation followed that immediately. By 9:30 last night, the declaration was approved. And so this sets that foundation for that state and federal partnership to begin to help people recover and to help the area recover. And we'll continue to do our part. And each of us have websites, resources where to go are on those websites, and I encourage you all to link to those, and let's get help in here as quickly as we possibly can. Diana?
Well, you know, this is the district I serve, and this is devastating to the people. These are friends and family. And when you get in the air, and thank God for the National Guard, even yesterday in Unicoi, when you get in the air and you see the devastation, and these are not just, you know, businesses, these are people, these are friends, these are our families that I've taken care of. And, you know, thank God for Governor Lee and Senator Blackburn and, you know, the declaration. And it's something like we've never seen in this part of the state. Who would think that a hurricane would do this much damage in East Tennessee? But that's where we're at, and I've had people reach out from all over the country to say, what can I do to help you? And they are concerned. And I want the people here in the 1st District to know that we won't stop. We're going to get them the help they need, whether it's personal, whether it's their businesses, their family. The devastation is here, and it'll take a long time to recover, but we have a good infrastructure here to get things done with TEMA and everybody that's represented here. So just know that we love you and we're praying for you. Just as the governor said, this is devastating, but we're tougher than that in East Tennessee. So we'll rebuild, and you know, you can reach out to me for anything. And I'm talking to every constituent I have. To me, they're friends and family, so don't hesitate to do that. And thank you all for being here. And thank the National Guard for what they did yesterday to rescue the people off the hospital. And there's still more to go. So reach out to my office, Senator Blackburn, Senator Haggerty, the governor's office. We're here to help.
Speaker.
First of all, I appreciate the governor and his leadership and his team's leadership, TDOT, TEMA, and everybody for what they did yesterday. When you went out and saw the power of what Mother Nature has happened with just water, total devastation, destruction. But what you did see is you saw a lot of individuals out there helping one another clear their property, clear out their roads, start working to get things back again. And it's going to be a long road. It's a long process. But with the help of Senator Blackburn, Congressman Harshbarger, and the governor, and everyone else, and the locals, and we can't thank local EMS enough either for their first responders when all this happened, and partnering with them in the state, and then North Carolina actually helping us as well during this disaster. Everybody working together, that's what it's going to take, and so we're going to continue to fight this long road to recovery, but we'll get there, and we'll come out stronger. Thank you.
Great. So as we said, and as you've seen, there's a great deal of damage, a great deal of heartache, a great deal of work to be done. It is heartbreaking to see it. It's heartening to see the folks that have come together to start already to reach out to their neighbors and help. So we there's a lot of work to do, but we're getting started now. Happy to take questions.
One question I have for you: we've had several calls into our newsroom of people saying that they're trapped, bridges are gone, people are without water. What's your message to them this evening?
There's a lot of damage out there, and there are bridges out, and we've seen those. There are roads that are impassable now, so that isolates people for certain. We're aware of those situations. At least we may not be aware of every individual, but we know that there are these isolating incidents out there. TEMA is addressing those with local EMS, and let me just comment as well. There's been a tremendous amount of partnership here between local agencies, but with TEMA, with National Guard, as was mentioned, but the local folks here from sheriff's departments, police departments, fire departments, local emergency management operations, incredibly well coordinated. I think that's part of what we saw yesterday in Unicoi on that hospital. And the partnership extended way beyond that. We saw Virginia State Police here, Tennessee Highway Patrol here, National Guard, all working together to make sure those people on that roof were safe. And it's a tragic moment, but a great example of how when we do work together as teams, then we get that accomplished. And those folks that are isolated and that are cut off and that don't have water and that don't have power, there's a great awareness of that, and there's tremendous amount of effort being made to get those situations resolved as soon as possible.
Can you give us a scope of the kind of resources that you're prepared to give to this area to help with not only with the rescue but with the cleanup?
Well, I think what we're prepared to do is whatever it takes. And I say that understanding that we are working with FEMA, and we have Patrick Sheehan, Director of TEMA, here. If you want to add to any of these comments, Patrick, you can. But we are working with FEMA. As you know, we've requested this declaration, but we're also expanded that request to a major disaster declaration. With those declarations come financial assistance and federal funding. So FEMA actually has people on the ground assisting our team of folks. That federal funding comes. There are obviously within TDOT, there's funding available, and we will be working with the General Assembly in days and months ahead to determine additional funding that's needed. So what happens first is we have to assess and just see what needs to be done, and then we begin to put the resources toward it. What I think you'll see is whatever resources are available from a federal and state standpoint, that's what you're going to see bringing here. Obviously, there are a lot of personal property damages that will have to be resolved through private insurance and the like. But as far as assistance to help people find their way to find help, we're here for that.
I know it's just been less than 24 hours now. Do we have any type of ideas of the magnitude of the damage we're spread across 3-4 East Tennessee counties? Any numbers, any type of that that's around?
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, we're here today, and it's actually still unfolding, right? There are folks that are, yes,
Yeah.
you want
Go
to
ahead.
add to that? Well, there's folks that are still trying to even see the extent of the damages. Butch Ely had a TDOT, so do you have something to add?
Well, just as the governor said, we're still in the assessment phase at this point, but we have strike teams that have come in from other parts of the state that are on the ground today. They are here and are working with our local officials at TDOT, and we're already working very diligently out there right now to clear the roads, get the debris off the roads, and work with our county officials and local officials to make sure we're opening access to be able for the bridges. We've got bridges out in several counties. Obviously, we had some bridges out on the interstate as well, and so we're working right now with the local officials to get access back for everybody to be able to get connected back to their communities. And so that's what we're really kind of focused on now, and we're going to be working. But as Governor said, this is the assessment phase. It's going to take a little while, but we're 100% committed to moving forward with that as quickly as possible.
Governor, I want to ask about the dams. There was also a lot of concern yesterday about the structure of some of these dams, and we did take a look at one of those. So tell me a little bit about what kind of focus is happening on the dams that have kind of been kind of strained.
There have been a lot of reports. Some of them were inaccurate reports that there had been a dam failure, that this dam was about to fail. We certainly know that these dams have been filled, they've been pushed, they have been tested, and there will actually continue to be continuously tested. So TVA is looking at the dams all up and down the Nolichucky River, for example. All of the dams that are in question, they have ranked them and put red, yellow, green assessments on those to make sure that the residents that live downstream know that this dam is full, this dam is being tested, and we don't want to, just out of an abundance of caution, we want to make sure people are gone. But what I'll say right now is we do not believe, and Patrick, you can comment to this too, and TVA ultimately will issue warnings about the dams, but what we believe right now is there has been no catastrophic dam failure, and there is no imminent dam failure. There is a danger downstream from some of these TVA dams, and the folks that live there know it, but that danger exists because we are at unprecedented water levels behind those dams. What I would say is folks need to pay very close attention. They need to heed warnings. They need to be looking for information put out by TVA in particular, by TEMA, by local officials, just to make sure that when there is a concern, folks that will be affected by it know about that concern. You want to add to that?
I think that's absolutely right with the dams. So, hey, I would like to add, we know that people are missing. I asked Director Roush and TBI to help us with reunifications and notifications. So if you're aware of a missing family member, 1-800-TBI-FIND is the number to call. We've tweeted about this along with the TBI and posted things about it. But 1-800-TBI-FIND, if you're missing a loved one that you think was in Tennessee and in a lost area, we ask that you pay attention to that. For folks that have lost their homes, we just ask you to document things. Shelters are open and in the areas. You can find those locations on TEMA's website. We're working with the communities, the American Red Cross, and other VOADs as well. But that information is available. But document your losses. Make sure that someone in the emergency management community knows that you have losses and that you're in need. And then recovery takes a long time, especially flood recovery. The damage is devastating and pretty complete. And so we'll be working with them to find alternate routes and to rapidly restore infrastructure.
Do you have any idea how many people we have missing at this point or unaccounted for?
We don't.
Any other questions? I do want to acknowledge Representative Rebecca Alexander is here with us as well. The local teams, and I mentioned that because local elected officials, as I said, the local emergency management groups, sheriff's office, police, fire, they've done incredible work. They've done incredible work considering the magnitude of what's happened, the speed with which the water rose in certain areas, of getting people out, of getting evacuation warnings out there, and then of rescuing where rescue was needed. So very proud of the work that was done here. And this is, as we say, this is just the beginning. Tremendous amount of work yet to do, and we understand that. But the teams are here, the strike teams are here, the support's been asked for from the federal level, so we're well on our way to beginning to recover from what's been a historic event in East Tennessee.
What was your reaction from seeing it from above when you saw that? I know you'd seen it before you got here, but
yeah, it's shocking. I mean, it's heartbreaking. You see homes washed away, you see businesses washed away, you see bridges washed out, which you know what that means. People are cut off and isolated. You see areas where there's no power, and you know that there's no water. And it's it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see people lose everything that they have worked for and built for, and their homes and their lives and their livelihoods. So we recognize that has happened, and there is no way to replace that heartbreak, but there is a way to begin to address the physical loss that's occurred, and that's what we're going to be looking to do.
Have you ever seen devastation like this in Tennessee during your time as governor?
I mean, every time you see a disaster, it's a little bit different. And certainly I've never seen a hurricane disaster in Tennessee that has looked like this, not in the years that I've been here. It's unique. As you know, the flood levels in some of the counties up here were truly historic. It's never happened like this before. When you see the hospital that basically was underwater, when you see homes and businesses gone, it's heartbreaking. All right, thank you all very much.